I never planned for that night to change my life. It began like so many others: laughter, music, and the easy comfort of being with friends who had known each other for years. My best friend Ryan had invited a small group over to his apartment to celebrate the end of a long week. I almost didn't go. Work had drained me, and the thought of a night on the couch with Netflix seemed tempting. But something in Ryan's voice when he said, "Aliyan will be there," made me pause. Aliyan. The name alone made my heart race in ways I tried hard to ignore. He was Ryan's cousin, someone I'd met 2 years ago at a birthday dinner, and had seen here and there ever since. Tall, with dark hair that always felt perfectly messy, eyes the color of warm coffee, and a smile that could disarm even the coldest soul. Every time he spoke, his voice carried a calm warmth that felt like home. And yet, he was off limits, not only because he was family to my best friend, but because I had convinced myself that someone like him could never feel the same way about someone like me. When I arrived, the apartment was already buzzing. Soft music played from the speakers. People were laughing, and the smell of Ryan's famous butter chicken drifted from the kitchen. I spotted Aliyan across the room instantly, leaning against the balcony, railing with a glass of something amber in his hand, laughing at a joke someone had told. The moment his eyes caught mine, his smile deepened, and he lifted his glass in a subtle greeting. My stomach flipped. I spent the first hour trying to be normal, chatting with others, pretending not to notice how my eyes kept finding him. It was ridiculous, like my brain had this magnetic pull it couldn't resist. Every so often, I'd catch him looking at me too, and in those seconds, the rest of the room faded into soft blur. As the night wore on, people drifted out. Some left early. Some went to the balcony for more drinks. Around midnight, only a few of us were left, me, Ryan, Aliyan, and 2 others. The conversation grew quieter, the atmosphere softer. Ryan, ever the host, decided to start a movie. I took a seat on the couch, and to my surprise, Aliyan dropped down right beside me. Not near me, beside me. Our legs brushed, sending a jolt through my entire body. He didn't move away, just smiled that quiet smile of his and handed me a blanket. "You look cold," he said softly. I wasn't, not really, but I pulled the blanket over us anyway, feeling the warmth of his arm against mine. Halfway through the movie, Ryan and the others excused themselves to the kitchen for snacks. Suddenly, it was just me and Aliyan, the flickering screen casting shadows on his face. I felt his gaze before I saw it. And when I finally looked at him, his expression was unreadable, soft, curious, and almost hesitant. "You're quieter tonight," he said, voice low. "Am I?" I asked, my throat dry. He nodded. "Yeah, like your mind is somewhere else." I wanted to say it's on you, but the word stuck in my chest. Instead, I just smiled weakly. The others never returned to the couch. One by one, they found excuses to head out or crash in the spare room. Ryan mumbled something about being exhausted and disappeared to his bedroom, leaving the 2 of us alone in the dim glow of the TV. The silence between us wasn't uncomfortable. It was heavy with unspoken things. Eventually, Aliyan leaned back, stretching his arm over the couch, his fingers brushing my shoulder. I could feel the heat of him, the steady rhythm of his breathing. Then, without a word, he shifted slightly closer, so our thighs touched fully under the blanket. My chest tightened. I wanted to move away, to break the tension before it swallowed me whole. But I didn't. I couldn't. "Can I tell you something?" he asked finally. I nodded. His eyes searched mine for a long moment before he said, "I like being around you more than I should." My breath caught. "What do you mean?" I asked, barely above a whisper. He looked down, a faint smile tugging at his lips. "I mean, every time you're here, I can't stop watching you. And I think Rye would kill me if he knew." My heart was pounding so loudly I was sure he could hear it. "Aliyan," I began, but he interrupted. "You don't have to say anything. I just needed you to know." We stayed there for what felt like hours, just looking at each other, the air between us alive with everything we weren't saying. Eventually, the weight of the night pulled us toward the bedroom. The guest room Ryan always kept ready. We lay down side by side, still wrapped in the same blanket. At first, we talked, soft, whispered conversations about nothing and everything. His hand brushed mine under the covers, then lingered, fingers curling gently around my own. My body felt both electric and calm, as though I found something I didn't know I was missing. At some point, I must have drifted off, because the next thing I remember is waking in the soft gray light of morning. And there he was, Aliyan, lying inches away, one arm draped over my waist, his face relaxed in sleep. His hair was messy, his lips slightly parted, and I swear I could stay there forever, memorizing every detail. For a moment, I thought about slipping away, about preserving the safety of pretending nothing happened. But then his eyes opened, slow and warm, and he smiled. "Morning," he murmured, voice husky from sleep. Something in that moment told me everything had changed. We didn't rush to get up. Instead, we lay there, the world outside the room irrelevant. He told me he hadn't slept that peacefully in years, and I admitted I hadn't either. There was no grand confession, no dramatic music, just two people quietly realizing they'd crossed a line they couldn't and didn't want to uncross. The weeks that followed were a slow dance of stolen moments. Ryan remained blissfully unaware, and maybe a part of me felt guilty. But more than that, I felt alive. Aliyan and I found excuses to see each other. Coffee runs, movie nights, walks through the park. With every meeting, the connection deepened. I learned the small things about him. The way he hummed when he cooked, the tiny scar above his eyebrow from a childhood fall, the way his laughter softened when it was just for me. And he learned me in return. The songs I loved, the things that scared me, the way I preferred tea over coffee. One evening, about a month after that night, we found ourselves on a balcony of his apartment, the city lights stretching out below us. The air was cool, and he had draped a blanket over both of us. Just like that first night, he turned to me, his expression serious. "I don't want to hide this anymore," he said quietly. My heart skipped. "Aliyan, what if—" He shook his head. "I don't care. It's worth it." And then he kissed me, slow, sure, like we had all the time in the world. When we finally told Ryan, it was messy, yes. He was shocked, maybe even a little hurt. But in time, he came to understand. Love has a way of outlasting the noise around it. And ours did. A year later, we stood on that same balcony, the city still glittering below. Only this time Aliyan held my hand with a gold band on his finger. We'd made it. Against the odds, against the rules we thought were unbreakable. We made it. Now, every morning I wake up and see him beside me. I remember that first time. That quiet, perfect moment when the world shifted. When I realized the person I had been searching for all along was right there, sleeping next to me. And every day since, I've been grateful I didn't walk away. Because love, real love, doesn't come along often. And when it does, you hold it close and never let go.